Hey everybody, Darren Cross here. Welcome to week 6 of Business 149. We're quickly coming in on the end of the course. We have a couple of weeks left here. In this week, we're going to be talking about chapters 14 and 15. Chapter 14 is about installment buying, and chapter 15 is about the cost of home ownership. Okay, so these are very, very crucial chapters because most of the time when we're making big purchases, we're doing installment buying. What we're saying is we're buying things on credit, right? And one of the things, the reason why this is even a topic that we're talking about is because it's not just as simple as saying, hey, let me spread this out over months. The deal is whenever you're buying on installment, what's happening is you're borrowing money and you have to pay to use that money. And what you pay is the interest, right? And so we have to figure out how to calculate all of that stuff and what it really means and how much it costs you if you're going to choose to pay the cash price versus buying something on installment. And so let's look at what we're going to specifically be learning. In chapters 14, the cost of installment buying, we're going to calculate the amount financed, the finance charge. Finance charge is also known as interest, and the deferred payment, right? So what is the cost of this thing if we choose not to pay it all up front, right? We're going to calculate the estimated APR, or annual percentage rate, by table lookup. So we're going to learn how to figure out the APR by looking at the table. We're going to calculate the monthly payment by formula. So we're going to figure out, based upon all of the other data, how much you're borrowing, what your down payment is, the amount financed, and for how long, interest rate. We're going to figure out what your monthly payment is going to be. There's a formula that we're going to use, but also we're going to do that by table lookup. Also, we're going to learn about revolving credit cards, revolving debt, not just loans. These are different, right? It's not just I'm going to borrow this and in 5 years it's paid. You borrow it, you use a part, or you get a credit card, you get a line, you have $1,000, you spend $200, you have $800 left, pay that $200 down, you now have $1,000 again. But you still have to figure out what that's really costing you. There's a cost to that as well, and so we're going to figure that out. We're going to calculate the finance charges on revolving charge credit accounts. You're going to figure all of that out, and hopefully that'll teach you some lessons about how to use it. A lot of people, the traditional wisdom is, hey, just don't use credit cards. I, being a business person and a real estate investor, I think that there's a very creative way that you could use credit cards and debt in order to put yourself in a better situation. So that's my general philosophy when it comes to that. So in chapter 15, the cost of home ownership, we're going to talk about what it truly costs to own a home. A lot of people want to own a home, and that's the American dream, but there's cost to it, and so we're going to dig into that. Number one, we're going to learn about the types of mortgages and the monthly mortgage payment. We're going to list the 3 types of mortgages that are out there. Or the types of mortgages that are out there. There's more than 3 types. We're going to utilize an amortization chart to compute monthly mortgage payments. And here's what I can tell you. Amortization means a payment of both principal and interest. So we're going to figure out what the principal and interest payments are on a loan based upon all of the details of that loan. We're going to calculate the total cost of interest over the life of a mortgage. You are going to hate it. But I want you to see it now before you actually buy a house. Because when you get to that one page where they show you the truth in lending, it's like, how much interest are you truly paying? You're like, man, I'm buying a $100,000 house and I end up paying $100,000 in interest. I pay for this house twice. That kind of gets to you. And I want you to understand that is going to happen. There are some strategies. We don't really talk about them in this class, but I talk with my clients all the time about strategies to kind of pay their house down quickly and things like that. The second part, the amortization schedule, breaking down that monthly payment, we're going to understand what exactly happens whenever we make a payment. So when you make an amortized payment of principal and interest, what's really happening with that, right? So we're going to calculate and identify the interest in each one of those payments. And then we're going to figure out what that really means to the amortization schedule as you go along. Okay, so this stuff is pretty easy. But as always, if you have any questions about anything at all, I want you to reach out to me. Okay? So good luck, everybody.